There is a moment every morning before the noise begins, when the body is completely open, before the coffee, before the phone, before the weight of the day arrives. Ancient healers understood something about that moment that we have completely forgotten. They understood that the first thing you put into your body each morning is not just food. It is a message that travels through every organ, every cell, every system in your body. A message that says, either we are protecting you today, or a message that says, you are on your own. For 3,000 years, healers sent the same message every single morning. 10 specific foods, eaten deliberately, in the quiet of the early morning. Not because tradition told them to, because their bodies told them the difference. Today, I am going to show you exactly what they ate, and exactly why your breakfast may need to change forever. In the ancient world, the morning meal was not casual. It was considered sacred. Egyptian physicians who served in the courts of pharaohs prescribed the morning meal as medicine. They recorded their recommendations on papyrus scrolls. They assigned specific foods to specific ailments. They understood that the body, after a night of rest and repair, was ready to receive, ready to absorb, ready to be strengthened or weakened by what came next. In ancient India, Ayurvedic healers called the morning the golden hour. They believed that what entered the body in those first quiet moments after waking had 10 times the impact of what was eaten at any other time of day. They were not being poetic. They were being scientific, centuries before the word science existed. In ancient Greece, Hippocrates, the father of medicine, wrote extensively about the morning meal. He prescribed specific foods for specific conditions. He told his students that a man who controlled his morning controlled his health. What he meant was simple. The body wakes up with nothing in it. No defenses raised, no barriers up. Whatever you feed it first goes straight in, straight to work, straight to either building you up or slowly tearing you down. These healers knew this. They lived it. They passed it down. These are the 10 foods they never started a morning without. The first food ancient healers reached for every single morning was not eaten. It was drunk. Warm water with lemon. This is the oldest morning ritual in healing history. Egyptian healers prescribed it. Greek physicians recommended it. Ayurvedic texts described it in detail. Arab physicians in the golden age of Islamic medicine wrote entire chapters on the morning use of warm water and citrus. Across every ancient healing tradition, across thousands of years and thousands of miles of distance, healers arrived at the same conclusion independently. Start the morning with warm water and lemon. Every time, without exception. Here is why they were right. After 8 hours of sleep, the body is mildly dehydrated. The digestive system is empty and waiting. The liver, which has been working through the night, processing everything the previous day brought in, is ready to be flushed. Warm water activates the digestive system gently. It does not shock it the way cold water does. It prepares it, opens it, tells it the day is beginning. The lemon adds something the warm water cannot provide alone: vitamin C, which the liver uses directly to produce glutathione, the body's most powerful internal antioxidant. Citric acid, which stimulates the production of bile, the substance the liver uses to digest fats and eliminate toxins. And pectin, a fiber that feeds the good bacteria in the gut before anything else has the chance to disturb them. Ancient healers did not know about glutathione or bile or pectin, but they observed what happened to people who started their morning this way. Their skin was clearer, their digestion was stronger, their energy lasted longer into the day. They got sick less often. When illness did come, they recovered faster. The observation came first. The science came 3,000 years later. Both said the same thing. 1 cup of warm water, half a lemon squeezed in, drunk slowly before anything else enters the body. That is the first food. That is the first message you send your body each morning. The second food was considered the most sacred substance on earth by ancient healers across 3 continents. Raw honey. Egyptian healers called honey the gift of the sun. They used it in over 900 recorded remedies. They stored it in the tombs of pharaohs, not as a luxury, but because they understood it would never spoil, that something in honey resisted death itself. They were not wrong. Jars of honey discovered in Egyptian tombs over 3,000 years old have been found still perfectly preserved, still edible, still potent. In ancient Greece, athletes preparing for the Olympic Games ate honey every morning, not for energy alone, though it provided that, but because Greek healers understood that honey prepared the body for the physical and mental demands of the day in a way no other food could. What ancient healers observed, and what we now understand, is that raw honey contains over 250 bioactive compounds, enzymes, antioxidants, antimicrobial peptides, prebiotic fibers that feed the gut microbiome directly. It coats the lining of the stomach and protects it before the first meal of the day arrives. It provides the liver with the specific type of sugar it uses to begin its morning detoxification work, and it delivers a slow, sustained release of energy that prevents the blood sugar crashes that leave people exhausted by mid-morning. 1 teaspoon of raw honey, not heated, not processed, not the golden syrup sold in plastic bears in the supermarket. Raw honey, taken directly on an empty stomach or stirred into the warm lemon water. That is the second food. That is the second message.
The third food was the staple of the ancient Mediterranean morning for over 4,000 years: figs. The fig tree is one of the oldest cultivated plants in human history. Ancient Egyptian, Greek, Roman, and Hebrew healers all wrote about figs as morning medicine. The fig appeared in the first written medical texts of the ancient world, listed specifically as a food for the morning meal. Why the morning specifically? Because fig contains phycin, an enzyme that activates most powerfully on an empty stomach. Phycin breaks down proteins that accumulate in the digestive tract overnight. It clears what the body built up during sleep and prepares the gut for the day's work. Figs also contain more fiber per serving than almost any other fruit. That fiber absorbs slowly, keeping hunger at bay for hours. It feeds the beneficial bacteria in the gut that regulate mood, immunity, and the body's inflammatory response. Ancient Roman healers prescribed figs specifically for people with slow, sluggish digestion, for those who felt heavy in the morning, whose bodies seemed unable to clear themselves. 2 or 3 figs eaten before the first proper meal of the day, and the body began to move the way it was designed to move. Fresh figs when in season, dried figs when they are not. 2 or 3 every morning before anything heavier arrives. The fourth food was the ancient healer's most powerful tool against the slow, invisible fire that causes most of the damage the human body suffers. Turmeric in warm milk. Ayurvedic healers in ancient India prescribed golden milk, warm milk with turmeric, as the first warm food of the morning for over 4,000 years. They called it the morning medicine. They gave it to the elderly for joint pain, to the sick for recovery, to the healthy for protection. They called turmeric the spice that heals without being asked. The active compound in turmeric, curcumin, reduces the markers of inflammation in the blood more effectively than most modern anti-inflammatory medications when used consistently over time. In the morning, on a partially empty stomach, curcumin absorbs into the bloodstream with far greater efficiency than at any other time of day. And when paired with black pepper, as ancient healers always insisted, its absorption increases by nearly 2,000%. Half a teaspoon of turmeric, a small pinch of black pepper, stirred into warm milk or plant milk, drunk slowly in the quiet of the morning, before the inflammation of the day has a chance to take hold. The fifth food was carried in the pouches of ancient healers from Egypt to China, never left behind, never considered optional. Walnuts. Greek healers called walnuts brain food, and the resemblance of the walnut to the human brain was not lost on them. They believed the earth provided clues in the shape of its medicines. A walnut looks like a brain. It heals the brain. They were more right than they knew. Walnuts contain more omega-3 fatty acids than any other nut. Omega-3 is the primary building material the brain uses to maintain and repair its connections. It is the raw material of cognitive function, of memory, of mood, of the ability to think clearly under pressure. Modern research has confirmed what ancient Greek healers observed, that regular walnut consumption reduces inflammation in the brain, improves memory recall, and reduces the risk of cognitive decline with age.
eaten in the morning when the brain is emerging from its overnight repair cycle and preparing for the demands of the day. Walnuts provide the exact nutrients the brain needs at the exact moment it needs them most. 7 walnuts, eaten slowly, every morning. That was the healer's prescription. Not more, not less. 7. The 6th food was the ancient healer's daily armor against every invisible enemy the body would face. A single clove of raw garlic. We have already spoken about garlic as one of the great healing plants. But ancient healers used garlic specifically in the morning for a reason that goes beyond its general healing properties. In the morning, on an empty stomach, the allicin released by crushed garlic enters the bloodstream within minutes. There is no food to slow it down, no competing substances to dilute it. It goes directly where it is needed and begins its antibacterial, antiviral work immediately. Egyptian workers who built the pyramids received a daily ration of garlic every morning before work. Not after, before. Because Egyptian physicians understood that the morning dose, taken before any other food, was 3 times more effective than garlic taken with a meal. Crush 1 raw clove. Wait 10 minutes. Eat it. That 10-minute wait is not optional. It is where the medicine is made. During those 10 minutes, the enzyme reaction that produces allicin completes. Without the wait, there is no allicin. Without the allicin, there is no medicine. 1 clove, crushed, 10 minutes, then eaten, every morning, before anything else but the warm lemon water. The 7th food was the ancient healer's remedy for the body that struggled to begin. Dates. Ancient Egyptian healers used dates as concentrated medicine, compressing their healing compounds into small portions that could be carried and consumed at the start of any day, in any condition. Islamic physicians of the Golden Age built entire nutritional frameworks around the date as morning medicine. They wrote extensively about the specific healing that happens when dates are eaten before any other food. Dates contain a remarkable combination of natural sugars, fiber, magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins that the body uses in the morning in a specific sequence.
The natural sugars provide immediate energy that arrives without the blood sugar spike of refined carbohydrates. The fiber slows the absorption and prevents the crash that follows. The magnesium relaxes the muscles and the nervous system, reducing the cortisol spike that the body produces on waking. The B vitamins support the conversion of food into cellular energy. the process that determines how vital and clear-headed you feel for the rest of the day. 3 dates, eaten slowly, chewed thoroughly. This is the ancient healer's answer to the person who wakes up already exhausted, who gets out of bed feeling like the day has already begun without them. 3 dates, and the body remembers what energy feels like. The 8th food was the ancient healer's greatest gift to the gut, the foundation of all health. Oats, slow cooked, plain. Ancient Celtic and Nordic healers built their entire morning practice around oats. Not the instant, processed, flavored oats that fill modern supermarket shelves. Whole oats, slow cooked, without sugar or salt. Eaten warm and plain. They observed what happened to people who ate oats every morning versus those who did not. The oat eaters had more sustained energy, calmer temperaments, better digestion, stronger bodies in winter. They got sick less often and recovered faster when they did. What those ancient healers observed, and what we now understand, is that oats contain a specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Beta-glucan does something no other morning food does quite as effectively. It forms a thick gel in the digestive tract that slows the absorption of everything that follows it. Every meal eaten after oats is absorbed more slowly, more evenly, more efficiently. Blood sugar stays stable, energy stays consistent, hunger is held at bay for hours. Beta-glucan also feeds the bacteria in the gut that produce short-chain fatty acids, the compounds that reduce inflammation in the gut lining, protect against disease, and regulate the immune response. Whole oats, cooked slowly in water, eaten plain with nothing added except perhaps a teaspoon of raw honey. That is breakfast. That is medicine. That is what the healers understood. The 9th food was the ancient healer's secret weapon against the disease that steals vision, memory, and vitality long before old age should. Pomegranate. Ancient Persian healers called the pomegranate the fruit of paradise. Egyptian healers painted it on the walls of temples and tombs. Greek healers prescribed it for conditions ranging from digestive illness to inflammation of the joints, to the deterioration of vision with age. The pomegranate was not celebrated because it tasted good. It was celebrated because it worked. Pomegranate contains a compound called punicalagin, found nowhere else in the plant kingdom. Punicalagin is one of the most potent antioxidants ever identified. More potent than green tea, more potent than red wine, more potent than blueberries. When the gut metabolizes punicalagin, it produces a compound called urolithin A. And urolithin A does something remarkable. It triggers a cellular cleaning process that removes damaged, dysfunctional cells. The cellular equivalent of removing dead wood from a forest to allow new growth. This process is directly associated with slower aging, more sustained energy, stronger muscles, sharper cognition. Ancient healers called pomegranate the fruit that slows time. Modern science now understands exactly why. The seeds of half a pomegranate, eaten slowly in the morning, every day that they are in season, or a small glass of pure pomegranate juice, not from concentrate, drunk without added sugar. The fruit of paradise, eaten in the golden hour of the morning. The 10th and final food was the ancient healer's daily message of strength to a body that lived in a world of constant demand. Eggs, soft cooked, from free-range hens. Ancient Roman healers prescribed eggs as morning medicine for people recovering from illness, for people weakened by long journeys, long winters, long grief, for people whose bodies had given more than they could replace. They understood something that took modern nutritional science centuries to confirm. The egg is the most complete food in nature. A single egg contains every amino acid the human body cannot produce itself. Every fat-soluble vitamin, A, D, E, and K. Choline, the compound the liver uses to detoxify fat, and the compound the brain uses to produce the neurotransmitter responsible for memory formation, learning, and mental clarity. Lutein and zeaxanthin, the compounds that protect the retina of the eye from age-related damage. Selenium, the mineral that the thyroid uses to regulate metabolism and energy production across every cell in the body. Ancient healers did not know about amino acids or neurotransmitters or selenium, but they observed that people who ate eggs in the morning were stronger, clearer, more resilient, less vulnerable to the illnesses that move through communities in winter. They observed the result, and they acted on it. 2 eggs, soft cooked, meaning the yolk remains slightly runny, because the fat-soluble vitamins in the yolk degrade significantly with high heat. The ancient healers cooked their eggs gently for a reason they could feel, even if they could not explain it. 2 soft eggs every morning. The 10th message to the body. The final piece of the morning that the healers never skipped. 10 foods. That is all ancient healers needed to transform the morning from a rushed, half-conscious routine into a deliberate act of protection. Warm lemon water, raw honey, figs, turmeric milk, walnuts, garlic, dates, oats, pomegranate, eggs. Not because they had read a study, not because a doctor had prescribed them, but because they paid attention to their bodies every single morning, over years, over decades, over generations. They noticed what made them stronger. They noticed what left them vulnerable. They shared what worked, and they protected it carefully, because they understood that this knowledge was not just useful, it was survival. I want you to think about your own morning right now. What is the first thing you put into your body? What message are you sending? You do not need to change everything tomorrow. You do not need to find all 10 foods and transform your kitchen overnight. Start with 1. The warm lemon water is free. It takes 60 seconds. Begin there. Then add 1 more the following week. The healers built their morning practice 1 food at a time, 1 deliberate choice at a time, 1 message at a time. So can you. If this gave you something useful today, share it with one person whose mornings you want to change. A parent, a friend, someone who wakes up exhausted and does not know why. The healers always shared what they knew. That is exactly how this knowledge survived for 3,000 years. Subscribe to Ancient Body Wisdom and come back every single week, because there is so much more they knew, and we are only just beginning. I will see you in the next one.